in New York, New York. Okay, so I want to apologize for starting about an hour plus late. We're supposed to start very early, but it's a good day. It's a good day. So I'm live here in New York. I want to show you my beautiful view. People always ask me, why do you like to stay in very tall buildings? Well, I want to build skyscrapers, and there's something called law of attraction. You attract into your life people, situations, circumstances that correlate to your dominant thoughts. So I love to anytime I'm in New York, I'm in Manhattan. And because of this one and only view, guys, come on. Who doesn't like this view? Right? If you don't like this view, there's something wrong. You may be afraid to leave someone here. I'm on the 42nd floor in my hotel here in Manhattan. Okay, but it gives you a good, beautiful view. It confirms all I keep telling you about property and water. Can you see? Manhattan is surrounded by water. It's a massive building. Last night I went to supervise a property that is being built on a 58 floor property building, right? It was what I went to supervise yesterday, and it was amazing studying how this kind of superstructures are done, and the impacts, Guys, how you doing today? How many of you are excited to be with me as you're joining? Tell me your name and the city you're joining me from. Okay, I want to know your name and the city of the world you're joining me from. Today I'm sharing how to make $1 million from property anywhere in the world. So I'm going to be going from a general perspective today. I know I have a global audience, so I want to kind of give a perspective that connects with that global audience. And also, I'm going to be putting my figures in dollars. And if you're in other parts of the world, just change it to your local currency. Remember, as you're joining, I'd like you to share this video 10 to 50 times on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn. On your right-hand corner, you're going to see Facebook party icon. Click on that Facebook party icon and invite all your friends. Tell them the Eagle is in the building. The Eagle is in New York City and is about to download. This is a 3-day series. We're doing a 3-day series, and we are going to be teaching in the next 3 days. So the time is 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're doing so that people can quickly enjoy the 1 hour before going to work, 6 a.m. in the morning Eastern Standard Time, and that should be, I think, 12 noon in Africa, 11 a.m. in London, and 3 p.m. In Dubai, okay, United Arab Emirates. So that's the time for this series. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the same time. We're going to do our best to keep to time tomorrow by the grace of God. We'll see what we can do to keep to time. So as you're joining me, tell me your name, the city you're joining me from. Share this video at least 10 to 100 times if you can. If you have shared, can you tell me, if you have shared 10 times, just type 10x. If you shared 50 times, just type 50x. How many of you are ready for today's class? If you're ready, type I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. So I'm going to be taking you through 2 journey today. It's going to be a bit detailed, but you're going to enjoy it, I promise you. How to make your first $1 million if you're in this part of the world, right? And like I say again, you can do this from anywhere in the world. You can do this from anywhere in the world. I'm going to look at it from the housing option. How do you do this? By owning a house. We're also going to be looking at this from land banking option. So how do you do this model if you want to go through land banking? Okay, so either of the two, which one do you want to do? We're going to be looking into all that. 1x. Julius, come on, Julius, don't fall my hand. I say share 10 times or 50 times, not share one time, right? You have groups you belong to where they discuss rubbish. Go there and share. You have Facebook group, you have WhatsApp group, you have LinkedIn group, and you can also click on the Facebook party icon and get everybody in here, okay? Now, the first thing you want to do, how many of you here can save up to $5,000 to $10,000 every month to put into real estate? If you can, type 1. If you can't, type 2. By the way, there's nothing wrong with you not being able to do that right now. Remember, life is in phases, men are in sizes, you live your size part time. And ultimately, you know, all fingers are not equal. But let's even see those of you, I want to even see, because I want to start with the hypothesis of those of you who have up to $5,000 to $10,000 to put into real estate every month. How many of you do that in whatever currency? You can convert that to whatever currency of the world you use in your country. Okay, if you can do that, type 1. If you can't do that, type 2. But you must respond. Everybody must respond. Edward, God will honor you. You shared 21 times. I appreciate it. Jeremiah 10 times. God bless you all. God will lift you up. I appreciate it. God bless you. Okay, so type 1 if you are able to do between $5,000 to $10,000 every month as investment into real estate. Type 2 if you can't. Now, if you can't, you can also type the amount you can use to do this. I will be able to share with you guys how that works. My name is Stephen Akita. For those of you just joining us, I'm Africa's most sought after investment coach. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I grew my business with $10 and I've grown it to a multi-million-dollar corporation today. So I'm sharing from the abundance of what I've tasted, what I've handled, what has worked for me and can work for anyone if you do it. Incidentally, one of those areas or businesses I have made millions of dollars in is real estate. So when you hear me teach, it's not one of just those motivational speakers who is teaching what he has in practice. I'm teaching what I've tasted and I've handled, what has worked for me and can work for any one of you if you do the same. Okay, so if you are excited, and okay, so I can see somebody said 2, they don't have up to $5,000 to $10,000. Okay, come on, everybody, I need to see your answer. Maybe you didn't hear me. If you have up to $5,000 to $10,000 to invest into real estate, type 1. If you don't, type 2. But you must answer me, right? When you're on my show, I'm the one that runs the show. You must answer me, okay? So I need an answer. It's either you have it or you don't have it. So if you have it, type 1. If you don't have it, type 2. By the way, I'm not going to ask you to send it to me. I'm not a pastor. Okay? Who's going to say, yes, you have that money. Send it now. Here's the account number. Send that money for the Lord. So don't be afraid, because some of you will say you should let us know whether you have up to 5,000, you know, and some of you are keeping quiet. Probably say, you know, before you know it now, you will start preaching to us to send the money to his account. I'm not a pastor. I'm not preaching. So I'm not going to ask you to send the money to the Lord. So relax. Your money is safe. Okay? Relax. Relax. Your money is safe. Because, man, a lot of you have seen so much in the hands of some, you know, professional and commercial prophets and pastors. But I'm not going to blame some of them. You guys carried yourself to all those things, right? You could, there were genuine people who you could have listened to. Even people like me, when we advise you about how to spend money, you say our mouth is smelling. Just because we're not doing cilia, asilia asata. Assuming I can come here and do cilia for some of you now, and do cilia. Hey, Jeremiah, go buy that land now, my son. Go buy that land now. Oh, asilia. Many of you will have gotten property today. Okay? If I could just show you that I'm moved by the Spirit okay, you will have gone to buy property right now. But because I'm not doing Asilia, my son, go buy property today, you ain't listening to me. But let me even do that. Ọmọ me, Laura Leleni, Laura invest, Laura property. But I'm not kidding you. Whether I do Asilia, I mean it is important. Go buy property. And this is not, you don't even need Asilia, it's in the Bible, right? And it's all through scriptures. Anytime God blessed man, he gave him property. Anytime God blessed man, he gave him property. Any nation that is wealthy is a function of property. New York is one of the most wealthiest cities in the world. They did it through real estate. Why do you think Wall Street is here? Why do you think Wall Street is in Manhattan? This is what brought about that wealth, ladies and gentlemen. This is how New York became New York. This is what made it wealthy. That's why Dubai is becoming Dubai. This is what is making Dubai wealthy. Guys, wealth, they say a nation is rich, it's because of its property investment. That's how they measure wealth. So even nations are measured in terms of wealth by property investment. You don't have real estate, you ain't rich, even as a nation. So this is real. I don't need to shake, right, to tell you the truth. The truth is the truth. You either believe it or not, but it's the truth. It doesn't change it from being the truth. Okay? As you're joining me, tell me your name and your city. Share this video 10 times, 50 times. Share on Facebook, share on WhatsApp, share on LinkedIn. Hit the share button and share as many times as you can. Okay? On your right hand side corner, you're going to see Facebook party icon. Click on it and invite people. If you have already shared 10 times, let me know. I want to thank you for doing that. Okay, let's get everybody in here. We need to impact Africans, particularly Africans in diaspora who have been wasting away, not investing well. So let's go. First step, find a way to put some money aside that you can be investing into your property. $5,000 every month, $10,000 every month, even if it's $2,000 every month. You need to do that. That's the beginning. You will struggle to be able to go into real estate property if you are not able to at least, if you are not able to put something aside. So the first rule, if you want to make your first $1 million, in real estate investment, you must be able to put a portion of your money aside to invest into real estate. That's step one, ladies and gentlemen. That is step one. Step two that you will then need to do. Step two is that you need to rent an apartment. You need to rent an apartment. Wow, Kenny has shared this video 59 times. The Lord will honor you, Kenny. I'm grateful for that. That's a proof that you love me and you believe in what I teach. God bless you. I'm grateful. Right? So number two, rent an apartment and make sure your landlord agrees that you use the apartment for Airbnb. Rent an apartment. Make sure that your landlord agrees for you to use it for Airbnb. But I want to advise you, if you want to do Airbnb, only do it in a place where there is huge demand for property. There's huge demand for rental property. Right here in New York, there's huge demand for rental property in Manhattan. A small apartment is $2 million. Studio apartment. You're going to get a studio apartment for $2 million. You look at, there's a guy who started Go-Kada in Nigeria. When they were showing his apartment that he bought for $2 million in Manhattan, it was just like a room and parlor kind of setting, right? But you want to rent something like that, you don't need to rent in Manhattan. You can rent in any city of the world you are, but make sure that this is a place where people are hugely looking for residential apartment. They are hungry. Somebody said, what's Airbnb? Airbnb basically is a model, is a platform where you lease your apartment, but for a day-to-day rental. Okay, so people are able to rent your apartment for 1 day, for 2 days, for 3 days, just like in case of an hotel. You furnish the apartment. You can also Google it. You furnish the apartment. You make sure there is a seat. You make sure it has some basic infrastructure. A lot of people prefer Airbnb to a hotel. Reason because in an Airbnb situation, you can cook your food. You can come as a family, right? Like a one room and a living room, right? You know, it's very good for Airbnb. 2 bedroom, very good. So families come, they can cook their meal in an hotel setting. They can cook, right? So people prefer that. The Airbnb is also cheaper and usually more spacious than hotel. So even in Nigeria, I have people that I help with this model. We rent an apartment, we get permission from the landlord. You need permission from the landlord, particularly in the US, in the UK. You cannot do this business model if you don't have permission of your landlord. You must get the permission of your landlord. It's very strict in the Western world if you're going to do that. So make sure even before you pay for the lease, you told your landlord, I want to use your apartment for Airbnb. If you don't tell your landlord what you want to use the apartment for, you can rent it and it will not allow you, and you've broken the law and it can kick you out and just going to mess you up. So make sure you get a permission and you use the apartment for Airbnb. Now with $5,000, you can start Airbnb. In some cities, you can start with $2,000, right? Because the rent is like 800 to 1,000. Then you can use another 1,000 to furnish the apartment. You can also partner with cleaners. So because once a guest leaves, another guest come. Now let me give you an idea of what we're talking about. An average Airbnb, you can rent it out for, like, let's say, if it's just a room, you can rent it out for like $50, right? And so $50 times, let's say 25 days, right? That's $1,000 to $50. Now the apartment you're going to rent out for $50, you most likely will be paying less than about $600 to $650 every month for that apartment. So what happened? The unique thing with Airbnb, you can make 100% of your rental through that. So, and if you have enough money to rent as much as an apartment that goes for like $2,000, okay, such apartment you can then rent out for as much as $150 a day per night. So $150, you're able to get good renter. Okay, at the end of the day, you can double that money. You can double, because with $2,000 you can get a 2-bedroom, you can get a 3-bedroom, and for a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, it goes as high in some places for as high as $250 per night, and people pay you per night. So I have students who do this, even in America, in the UK, and they're making crazy money. I don't know if you're happy about this. If you're happy, type I'm happy about this. Come on, guys, talk to me. Type I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. Okay, guys, talk to me, guys. Come on, show me some love. If I'm teaching you something that is opening your eyes to business model, you need to show some love, show some appreciation. Remember, for those of you just joining, my name is Stephen Akita. I'm Africa's most sought after investment coach. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I'm sharing how to make your first $1,000 or $1 million through property anywhere in the world. So let's use the $5,000 model that I told you earlier. If you make $5,000 and you're able to double it every month through Airbnb, okay, that means that your first month you have $5,000. Your second month you have $10,000. If you still add your extra $1,000 to it, what happened? That takes us to step 2. Increase the amount of houses that you're using for Airbnb and automate the process. So there are cleaning companies that you can partner with. Each of these Airbnb, they will go and be cleaning it for you. You can also be dropping the key somewhere around the compound, or you can do an automated key. An automated key where you computerize the code to unlock the door from your system anywhere in the world. And when a new guest has booked for your room from Airbnb, all you do is you send them a mail of the code they're going to use to access their apartment. Now I'm teaching you how you can increase this. So you move from 1 Airbnb, you move to 100 Airbnb, right? And you automate the entire process, okay? And nobody needs to necessarily be interfering with the entire process, because you can do it manually. You work with a cleaning company, you pay them a token. There are a couple of strategies to make your Airbnb work. Always treat your guests like king and queen. There are wine companies you can partner with. They'll give you new wine wine that they are still using for testing, right? So, you know, and you can get packs and packs, and you tell your cleaning company they should put 1 cup of wine, one glass bottle of wine for every new guest, and they should write "with love for you." Now, one of the amazing, charming thing about those wine is an average person that sees those wine. Also, actually, those wines used to be expensive, but because the wine companies are still doing testing, so usually they are gonna give you for $1, $2, but normally it will cost maybe $20 or $40. So an average person comes into a room, you're already seeing a wine worth $40 being given to you for free. You are like, I mean, you're gonna give the person 5-star rating, right? So there are a lot of little gifts that you could get and design and even spell their name when they come. So you give them that wow experience like they're in an hotel, but they're not in an hotel. And you can grow your Airbnb from 1 to 100, and I kid you not. So what then happened, because I want to show you that this is real and we're not even joking about these calculations. So if you, I have a friend here, if you can help me do the calculation. If you put in your first $5,000 into this, and by the way, there's none of you outside Nigeria who can put in $5,000 into this. There's none of you, okay, who can put in $5,000 into this, right? Golden, please don't give out my number. You can give out office number, right? Don't give out my number, please. People are going to start calling me. I have job to do, right? I don't know what's wrong with my PA. She's giving out my number. She's giving out my US number. And then people start calling me. Golden, is your job to pick the calls, not my job, right? So, so everybody start calling me now. I ain't got time to do my job. Please, anybody who has that US number, you should only chat me on WhatsApp. And please note, let me also tell you, I don't do free coaching. I don't do counseling. My PA is very good at counseling and coaching, right? That's why I employ her. As many of you want to, you know, free talk, call her. She's giving you the Nigerian line. But if you want to reach out to me, you should know that you should be ready to pay. I charge to talk to people. The only place I do free talk, free coaching is here. It's 1 hour per day. I've made that covenant with God. You've blessed me. I want to bless people. 1 hour covenant with them to teach them what I know. Those who can use it, we use it. Those who want to use it, we use it. But if you want more than the free version you get here, you have to pay. I have bills too, right? My team, I have a whole lot of people I've employed. I need to pay them salary. I have a foundation. I spend a lot on my foundation. I need to pay. And I can't do all that without making money also. And it's just fair. If some, you know, Otedola is richer than I do, how many times does he come here to teach you how he made it? Dangote is richer than I do. How many times does he come here to teach you how he made it? How many of you agree with me that the eagle has tried? If you think I have tried in terms of my impact, you know, on African community type, I have tried. Come on, guys. Let me know. I need to know, right? Because there are a lot of people who are very, very wealthier than I do. Way. I mean, you know, they probably will laugh at me itself when I talk about how much I have made, right? Because these people are in billions of dollars, you know, and they don't come here to teach you. They don't give you 1 hour of their day. I can assure you, if Dangote could sacrifice 1 hour a day to teach people, what will have happened in the entrepreneurial sector in Nigeria will be like a, is it like hurricane growth in the entrepreneurial sector. Because even if many people can implement what he teach, just the motivation that Alhaji Aliko Dangote is telling me how he did it, and I can do it too. Just that motivation is enough. If Otedola is coming here every day giving 1 hour lecture, if you know the ripple effect of that kind of stuff, right? Because a lot of people just call me and talk to me as if I owe them. I'm not your governor, I'm not your senator. I don't owe you anything, you don't owe me anything. If I contest today and I even ask you to vote, you even vote for me, you probably think I'm stupid to even go and contest, right? You guys did it to Fela Dutoye. So I don't owe you, you don't owe me, and we need to take it that serious. I have come to out of my goodwill to teach the little that I've known, and he's blessed so many people. In fact, Ezekiah is watching us. If Ezekiah can even make it here earlier, I would like him to share his testimony, right? And these are the kind of people that impress me. I'm going to show you. I'm digressing now, but I'm going to get back to my lecture. Let me show you Ezekiah, what somebody sent to me. He started his mini estate from what he learned from me here. His mini estate, right? His mini estate. Doing these things we are teaching. Just that his own version, he did it in Nigeria. And I've said it to a million of you. I can mentor you in how to build your own mini estate in Nigeria. You can build wealth, real wealth, right? Ezekiah lives here in the US. He got about 10 plots. Can you see? This is the architectural design of the buildings that Ezekiah is doing. This is how the land looks like now. So watch it. Because some of you will keep giving excuses. Nigeria is messed up. And you are from Africa, right? And that's why I'm teaching you. This model I'm teaching you, you don't need to do it in Africa if you don't like Africa, right? But I'm showing you somebody who did his own in Africa. Choose to. He's here in New York. But bought 10 plots. Putting about $10,000 every month. That is his estate going on right there. Mini estate, 10 plots. You know, what going on as we speak, right? They're going to start building houses there. Okay? And some of you will think that I only motivate you. These things are real. Your mates are doing what I'm teaching you here. They are doing it and their lives are changing. Right? Yesterday he was telling me he's pledging, was it 500,000 to my foundation, that I know I can't give you money. But I'm going to be donating 500,000 to your foundation to reach out to help more people. You've changed my life. He was telling me, right? This is your mate, too. Also in diaspora, right? And then some of you, the only thing you can count that you have achieved being diaspora is the years you have spent here. I've been in New York for 20 years. Are we going to take that to the bank? I've been in London. I give God the glory. I've been in London for 200 years. Are we going to take that to the bank? What have you achieved with being outside Nigeria? That's the question. How have you leveraged on being outside Nigeria? Because you told us Nigeria was messed up, right? Nigeria was a shithole country. Now you've left Nigeria. The question is, you are now in a better society. Are you still giving excuses in this part of the world? Or you have taken the bull by the horn and you are saying, I'm building my wealth right now. So, the first step, you save $5,000 to $10,000. Second step, you rent an Airbnb apartment and take permission, okay, from the landlord to use his house for Airbnb. You can do this from anywhere in the world. Every time I'm teaching you, you can do it anywhere in the world, even in Nigeria or Ghana or Cameroon. Right? Even those countries who don't have Airbnb, they have the Airbnb equivalent. There's to let, there's property hotel.ng and all of that. They have several equivalent of Airbnb in every countries of the world. Okay, so number 3 point, increase the numbers of Airbnb that you have. Increase the number. So from 1, turn it to 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then over time turn it to 100. But please focus on residential apartment. No matter what, residential apartment ain't gonna end, right? I'm here in New York, as you can see. Now, if you can see here, most of these residential, those commercial apartments are in trouble already here in New York. All these commercial apartments are struggling right now. Okay, they're struggling right now in New York. But the residential ones are doing well because people still need where to live. COVID or no COVID, people need where to live. People need where to put their head. So residential apartment still works. In fact, one of the things that have been happening with COVID is that if you have some tenants who personally can't pay their rent, the government is having to help some of them to pay the rent. Okay, and that's some of the beautiful things about this, right? So focus on residential apartment. That's where the money is. The money is in residential apartment. And you doing Airbnb is a good way. Number 4, okay, start buying a house, right? You can't keep using your landlord's house forever. And in fact, at some point, your landlord can get jealous. and tells you to want to do Airbnb. So it's very, very important that you then go into making sure that you begin to, and I think this is very, very key. It's a powerful principle. Start buying your own house. So from using somebody else's house to do Airbnb, you can then move to buying your own house. By the way, how many of you are getting value? If you're getting value, type I'm getting value, I'm getting value. Remember to share this video 10 times on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn. On your right hand side, you're going to see Facebook party icon. Click on the Facebook party icon and invite all your friends. Get them all here. Tell them the Eagle is here. We'll teach you how to make your first $1 million in the real estate world, anywhere in the world. So the fourth principle here, start buying your house and then turning them to Airbnb. But there are a couple of secrets to buying your house. When you want to buy your house, stop buying your house. And this is where people make mistakes. People then go ahead and buy property in the countryside. Don't buy countryside. Properties don't appreciate there. When you rent those kind of properties out, people struggle to pay your rent, even in developed worlds. And the rental properties do not appreciate in value in these parts of the world. But when I tell people, because people will tell me that, but Mr. Steven, $200,000 will only get me a studio apartment in the city center, like Manhattan. You can't even find $200,000 in Manhattan. But whatever city, maybe you're in Chicago, maybe you're in London, they will tell me, I can only get a studio apartment with $200,000, And what I tell people is that it's better to get a studio apartment in a developed locations like this, right? And if you look at on your left hand and your right hand side, you have more developed property. On your other side, right hand side, you have more developed property. If you look at this middle ground, you have some still more reasonable properties, and you may be able to still get something more reasonable if you live in New York. But if you're in Chicago or any other city, go to the city center and look for apartment there. It may be smaller, right? So the money you're going to use to get 5-bedroom duplex, right, in a countryside or the suburb, you will just get maybe 1-room apartment or 2-room apartment. It's still better to get a 2-room apartment, and I will tell you the reason why. In environments like this, you do not struggle to get tenants, right? In the city centers, you don't struggle to get tenants in city centers. You don't struggle to get tenants. But in the suburb, you struggle to get tenants. You will struggle to get tenants. And your goal is to buy the property in places that it's a lot easier to be able to get tenants. Very, very easy for you to get people to rent your apartment for Airbnb, okay? And you keep making money on a regular basis. So many people, travel into the city. A lot of them would like to stay in city center. They rent your Airbnb apartment. This time around, you are now the new owner. However, there's a principle we always say: make sure the amount you're paying for the mortgage is less than the amount you can rent that kind of environment. And that's the beauty of buying property in the city center. Okay, because when you begin to invest in the city center, what happens is that you are able to get access, okay, to properties where the rental value is higher. And that's what your goal should be. I can make more than I'm paying on the mortgage. So for example, I'm able to rent out the apartment for, let's say, $2,000. But what the mortgage on it is $1,000. Now your brain correct. In fact, your remaining $1,000, you can use it to quickly pay off your mortgage on time, or use it to be paying wherever you currently live. Okay? How many of you think this is cool? If it's cool, type cool, 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 cool. Everybody, come on, talk to me. If it's cool, type cool, 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 cool. For those of you just joining us, my name is Steven Akita. I'm Africa's most sought-after investment coach. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I'm sharing a powerful message on how to make your $1 million from anywhere in the world, through property investment. I'd like you to share this video at least 10 times. By the way, if you shared it 10 times, let me know. On Facebook, on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn. You belong to groups where they discuss rubbish. And, people just talk rubbish that add value to nobody. Gossip about another person. Talk about somebody else. Do what does not change anybody's life. This is a place you learn how to build your own wealth. and nobody is harassing you. And I think it's important to take advantage of things like this and share this kind of message to other people. So hit the share button 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 10. Okay, on your right hand side you see an icon called Facebook Party. Click on it and start using it to invite all your friends. I have a part 2. I'm done with the part 1 of today's training. How many of you are ready for part 2? If you are ready for part 2 of today's training, type I'm ready, I'm ready. Tomorrow you don't want to miss this, because this is a 3-day series. This is a 3-day series and you don't want to miss this same training tomorrow. It's going to change, it's going to wow you. Tomorrow I'm going to share with you how to start your real estate journey with little or zero income. Okay, how to make your $1 million with little or zero income in the real estate journey. And I will share my practical story. Okay, how I did it with little income. Okay, and you don't want to miss that class for anything tomorrow. I've told you the time. It's 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's 11 a.m. London time, 12 noon Nigerian or Central African time, and it's 3 p.m. Dubai time. Okay, so if you're ready for part 2 of today's class, type ready, 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 ready. Come on, I need energy, guys. I need your energy. I need your engagement. I need to share this video 10 times. Share, share, share. Number 1. Okay, this is the land banking method, and this works very well in Africa. In fact, this is the most profitable version to do in Africa. I would not advise you to do more rental property in Africa, because you're going to struggle with issues of rent. Okay, a lot of people are not going to pay your rent, and this is very, very key. And that's why I want to beg you, let me say this, and this is very key. Do not try this thing without having a mentor and consulting a mentor. Many of you are very spontaneous. You watch me teach you all these things, you get all excited, you put your 100 million, 200 million into something, you do not come to me. I probably will have charged you less than $10,000 to mentor you. You go ahead and put in so much money in a location where when you are done building that magnificent building, people will not pay your rent. So how wise is that decision? Guys, talk to me. How wise is that decision? So when somebody is teaching you, right, it is wisdom that you still get more details as to how this relates to you personally. How many of you think this makes sense? That's why we always, a doctor will say, don't buy drug without consulting your doctor. How many of you have heard that? Don't buy drugs without consulting your doctor. So, and I always tell people, consult your doctor, right? A lot of people that I've mentored, many I didn't even charge from them. I didn't even charge them. Many I just encourage them to buy from my own company, for particularly those of them who are Nigerian and are trying to buy property. I just advise them, say, buy from my own company. At least that one I have a grip. I know why I made that investment decision, and I can assure you, buying through me, you will not make a mistake. And many people have done that decision and they are grateful they did it today. They are safe. So please always take action using the wisdom of your mentor. Get somebody to mentor you and guide you in that process. A lot of time you even say you have some smart reasons why you are taking. Still get counsel from your mentor. Very important. So if you're ready for part 2, type I'm ready, but please do this with guidance. Do this with mentor. And whoever will mentor you, only pick a mentor that has result. Stop all this culture where you pick a mentor. He doesn't even have his own estate. Then you want him to mentor you on how to make money from building estates. It doesn't make sense, right? He doesn't have 1 acre. You want him to teach you land banking. And we do that in Africa. So, step 1, buy a land. Okay? Buy a land and buy it in the suburb of a major city. So you see how it's opposite. In the case of a house, don't buy a house in the suburb. Buy a house in the city center if you're going to use it for rental or for Airbnb. But in the case of land, don't buy it in the city center, right? Buy it in the suburb. That's how you do land banking. So if I want to do land investment, I don't want to buy it I don't want to buy it. By the way, there's no land in New York. They buy floors now. Right, in this place, all this place you're seeing is floors you buy. You don't buy land. There's no land in Manhattan. You buy floors. But
An air right.
Abby, you buy an air right? So because they buy floors here. They don't buy land. But in the suburb, you're going to see some suburb that are a little bit closer to Manhattan. You can invest there. In fact, Donald Trump's father, that's where it started from. Okay, that's how he started his investment. Donald Trump's father never did Manhattan. It was Manhattan that decided to say, Donald Trump said, I'm stepping my game up. I'm only doing Manhattan or nothing else. And started his own journey in the city center. So when you're starting land banking, you don't buy in the city center, you buy in the suburb, closer. That's why you see us. You buy where is the next development going. You ask yourself, you use Google Map, where is the next development going? So look at it in Lagos. Many of us did Ibejuleki. Many of us did Lagos Ibadan because of Redeem Camp. Many did Aton Altar because of Winners Chapel and its proximity to Lagos. Many of us did Ikorodu because Ikorodu is the next big thing, right? So we did closer to the core center of the city of Lagos. And that's how you build wealth in land banking. Number two, okay? So number one is you buy land and you pay an installment if you don't have money to pay the outright. Number two, finish payment. Many people think they are being smart, not paying for a land on time. I'm talking about when you buy, please don't buy from land or Monile. Buy from reputable real estate companies. Do not buy from Omonile. You heard me clearly. You don't have land when you buy from Omonile. You do not have a land. You buy a land from Omonile, just take it from me. You don't have a land. You don't. You don't have a land. The reason people like us are able to succeed buying directly from families is because we have money, we have muscle, we have all it takes to push what we need, and we're buying in bulk. So it's worth it. Sometimes we have to buy a car for the chief of that neighborhood just to make sure nobody chases us out of the land we bought. Right? That's the level of what we have to do. Sometimes a portion of whatever we're paying for the land goes to a critical stakeholder there just to secure that place. But we can do that because we're buying 100 acres, we're buying 50 acres. You that you're buying 1 or 2 plot or 1 acre, it doesn't favor you. It's cheaper to buy from Monile, but you don't have land at all. So you don't have land. So instead, buy in installment, but finish paying, because this is what happened. Many of you will go for a 1-year payment plan. In that 1 year, the land has appreciated times 2. In some cases, sometimes it has appreciated 50%. The owner has the right to tell you they are not selling again. Yes. They have the right to say they are not selling again. That you breach your payment term, you did one thing or the other. They have the right, because I've seen people do this. They will deposit small money in this estate. They will leave the place, move to another estate, deposit small money, thinking they are smart. But the estate has now since appreciated from the pricing they gave you. You intentionally just drop that money to tie the price down. At the end of the day, they have the right to say you broke the terms and sell the land to somebody else and move you to somewhere else. And then you're going to cry. So make sure you finish paying for land. You do not own a land by law until you finish paying the land. Let me repeat that again. You do not own a land by law until you finish payment. Okay? I'm telling you the fact now. Except if you bought it in a way whereby maybe you were buying 6 plots and you had an agreement that as I finish paying for 1 plot, I get full right to that 1 plot. Just give me a soon. Right? I get full right to that 1 plot that I'm buying. Right? If that's the model of arrangement you made, that makes sense. So I'm buying 6 plots. And as I pay for 1 plot, I get document for the 1 plot finished paid for. And then I pay to the second one, I get document. That works. But when it's just 1 plot and you're not paying installment, you don't have a land yet until you finish paying. So don't play, don't be penny wise, pound foolish. Don't try to play games and try to think you're smarter. It doesn't favor you, right? You won't win the argument anywhere you go. Number 3, buy more land. And this is where people miss it. Buy more land. If you want to build your first $1 million, buy more land. So I'm going to give you an example of what I'm saying, still using the model that we used in the earlier case. In the earlier scenario, we targeted you are contributing $5,000, right? to buy a house and you're putting it towards Airbnb. 5,000 times 12, that gives us $60,000. And we say that you are able to double that money every month. Okay? If you're able to double that money every month, what happens is that in 12 months, you've turned it to $120,000. In your first year, you've turned, okay, your $60,000 to $120,000 in your first year. So your second year, you enter the business with a what? A whooping $120,000. And remember, you already have a consistent cash flow right now with the set of Airbnb that you had before. So the second year, you target what? Doing times 2 of this. So your second year, you shouldn't wrap up with less than 360 USD, okay, in your second year, right? If you double that again in your third year, right, you should have times 2. That gives you $720,000. Ladies and gentlemen, by your 5th year, you have done transaction to the tune of $1 million using Airbnb with the model I taught you in part 1. Part 2, which is land banking, you put in $5,000 also. Okay, we're using that as a case scenario into buying land. So every month you're putting $5,000 into land. Every month, you're just putting it. Okay, you follow this model. What happened? An average $5,000 may get you a plot in some of these areas that you want to use. So what happened is that in 1 year, you already have 2 acres of landed property, ladies and gentlemen. 2 acres of landed properties you have. Now, if you follow that trend, in 5 years, ladies and gentlemen, you will have no less than 100 plots of land, 100 in your name. And the last strategy is you sell half of that plot to build on the remaining half and start residential apartment. Now, because of the time difference and the fact that you've left the land to appreciate in 5 years, right? Some in 2 years, some in 3 years. What will most likely happen, I promise you, is that the amount you're going to sell, let me give you an example of some of the cases that I have handled. I've had people who bought property for $100,000, right? And in 5 years, they were able to sell that same property for $1 million in 5 years because they bought it in the right location. The right location. And this is why I said this requires mentorship, it requires guidance, okay? But I can assure you, if you're watching me, right, and you can put in $5,000 to $10,000 every single month unfailingly, I know how you can invest, okay, that $5,000 every month. Not that you only have $5,000 once, so every month. In 5 years, I promise you $1 million. Or I'm going to dash you. Okay, we can even do a deal. I'm going to do a deal with 10 people, okay, who are watching this. And I'm going to give those 10 people my number. I don't know if you are up to the deal. Let me even see those of you who are up to this deal. It's called the $1 million in 5 years deal through land banking. This one I know very well. And you are going to do this through my estate in Africa. You know, it's optional, but if you want it, you want to gamble, that is a good gamble because an investment gamble. You can put in $5,000 to $10,000 every month, not once a year, every month, into real estate land banking in Nigeria. I don't know if you can do that. If you can do that, type I can do that for the next 5 years. And I promise you, if the value of the assets you will have gathered in 5 years is less than $1 million, I will return the difference. The whole world is watching. We're all together here. Okay? Yes. And I'm saying dollars, I'm not saying naira. You can put in between $5,000 to $10,000 every month into land banking with me. Every month. Okay? Every month for the next 5 years. First of all, you need to know, because that's one of the powerful things people don't even understand. You need to know how easy this is. $5,000, let's use 5,000. If you put $5,000, 12 times, let's first do 12 times 5. 12 times 5. Okay, 12, that's 12 months. 12 times 5, that's 60. Okay, that's 60. So $5,000 times 60. that already gives us $300,000. That's what the power of discipline, right? The power of discipline. You know, because sometimes you look at that money and you say it's small. It's because you are not consistent. How did I build a multi-billion naira real estate firm in Nigeria? It was this same discipline. I just kept putting a certain amount into the real estate business consistently, and before you know it, it's already bulk. Now, if you do $10,000 in 5 years, that's $600,000. So the only appreciation we're asking to happen here is an extra $700,000, right? In 5 years, I can help you do that. In the case of $10,000, is an extra $300,000 or $400,000. I can help you do that. I know locations you can do that. So how many of you want to do this with me? If you want to, type I want to. Okay, so I'm going to give you my US number. Please don't call me. Just chat me on WhatsApp. I don't do calls. I'm often busy and meetings and all that. Chat me on WhatsApp. If we need to do phone calls, we're going to do phone calls. But WhatsApp chat only. So +1 857 701 5527. Since my PR had already revealed the secret. Okay. Please WhatsApp chat only. So the first 10 to chat me up, I'm going to be showing you some of our own properties. I'm the MDC of GTEX Homes. And so it's going to be very practical. It's a property I have control over. Now, a lot of people always come to me for counsel over investment they've done with companies that is not mine. And I always tell them that it's not my company. I don't have control. I cannot give you counsel over somebody else's real estate company. And I mean that, because I've had situations, people reach out to me, and some of you feel that I'm just not trying to help you, but it's just the truth. I can't. I don't own the company. I don't have an idea. I don't know what they did. I don't know the strategy they used. I don't even know how they did it. But the company that I own, that I'm the MD of the company, I have grip on that one. Okay, so I can predict. I can tell you this is where we're going to be. I remember one of my big ebon was telling somebody about me. He said, Stephen is somebody you don't want to lose. He said the speed he has gotten in the last 3 years, if you know what you are doing, you know that Stephen is definitely the Dangote of his own generation. Right? And this is somebody big ebon, and was telling the person, the speed I've seen Stephen gotten in 3 years. Right? He was saying this to another person, okay, who was not happy with me on something. He said, the speed I've seen Stephen gotten in 3 years, right? If your brain is correct, you know that's not somebody you want to lose relationship with, right? Because you will be having to tell your children how you knew the Dangote of the generation and you cut off relationship because of whatever sentiment, because of your own low self-esteem, because you felt, whatever you felt. Okay, so it's important. I have grip on what I do. I have seen the growth our company has gotten. And I can tell you in 5 years, I can make you a millionaire in USD. Okay? I'm not if you're excited about today's trade. If you have gotten value, type, I got value, I got value, I got value. Come on, guys, talk to me. If you have gotten value, type, I got value, I got value, I got value. Are you guys there? If you got value, type, I got value, I got value, I got value. So I have somebody here. I want him to say hello to you guys. Okay? Yes. Let him say hello to you. He's been here with me. We went to school together, but he's the one chopping New York money now. Which kind of But hey, on campus, these were some of those who used to make jest of me. But let's hear from you whether he's still making jest of me. I was
making jest of you,
They used to say, I used to organize seminar too much. Disturbing them about motivation. Motivated. Ezekiel was saying the same thing yesterday. It was like,
no, but the first reason I came to meet you, the first time we spoke was where you said you had an orphanage foundation. I was like, oh, I'm an orphan. What are you going to give to me?
I remember.
You remember? That was it. That was the first time, you know. But you know, such is life. I'm happy that we are here today making it, and I think it's just a beautiful thing if people will just listen to what you're saying and invest in it, because it's just the future. You know, yesterday I was telling you about my father's story when he bought a land in Mushin.
Yeah, you said so.
In the 40s. He said he bought that land for £50, you know.
Wow.
And where he was living back then on the island, Mushin was regarded as a village. So nobody wanted to buy there because it was a village. And then he just went to buy the land for £50, you know, back then, because that was what the currency they were spending. And today, Mushin is not just a city, it's a ghetto that people don't even want to go down to again. But at the time, it was a village. So what that means is, at one point or the other, wherever we are calling a bush right now, is in the next 20, 30 years, another person's city. It is in the next 20, 30 years, another person's ghetto, whether you like it or not. Lekki is the talk of the town sometimes 10 years ago. People now probably want to go to Lekki right now because, okay, Banana Island is the thing.
Yeah.
All right. So tomorrow, Banana Island is also going to fade out. We're going to move to another place. And so it's also going to move to the Lekki, the Lagos project, you know, and all of that. So it's a beautiful thing if people can open their eyes and see beyond what they are looking at right now. It's beyond what you see. And that is what vision is.
How do you think that, how do you think from your experience, I mean, you live in New York, how do you think people easily get trapped into this, what do we call it now? Into this rat race, right? Of $20 an hour, $30 an hour, and almost never get out. You know, almost never get out. I mean, a couple, you know, are already been getting wise about it. I mean, I don't know that you saw what I showed about Ezekiah.
Yeah,
and how strategies like that is how you begin to take steps out of, you know, because you're young now, you can get jobs, you can hustle, but if you're not careful, a time comes where you now look back and say, what have I put away?
Yeah.
You know, so ability to start, and you are doing that already, to start saying, you know, out of what I'm making now in the US, I'm putting something aside. I'm putting something aside. Imagine in the next 10 years.
I think most times it's all about priority, and it's also about the kind of friends and people you move with. If you move with the wrong people, then you are done for. So, I mean, it's why sometimes I try to chat up with you. It's not just because I want to keep the relationship, but to get a boost from your hand. Do you get? It's why the kind of friends I have, I want to get a boost from their end and not get into that rat race. Because there's a cycle that is very interesting in New York if you're not careful. You're making the money, you have a house, you're paying your bills. The next thing you want to start looking good, like the rest people who are looking good. But you forget the fact that some of these people are not on the same vision and the same lane with you. They are not running after the same thing with you. So if you have friends who are not motivating you, are not pushing you, who are not driving you, 2021, make a list. This December, decide to change your friends. And like in 2021, I'm starting with a new crop of friends.
Beautiful.
That will motivate me to take me to the next level.
Beautiful.
Is it fashion? Look, fashion every time will fade. Okay, yesterday I was telling about my father died, right?
Yes.
And I told you that they ran after, it was because he bought a 404 wagon and was new at that period. At that period, that was the car in vogue. But right now, I can't even enter it. I cannot. Nobody want to. Nobody right here on Facebook right now want to enter a 404 station wagon. Yeah. So why are you running after those little things that will not stand? Yeah. But the man, if there was anything my father has, you know, exposed us to, was property. He invested in properties. He sold lands all over Lagos, you know. So that alone showed that this person had vision. Stop running after vain things. Run after things, one that will save you at your old age, something that will also leave back for your children.
Yeah.
You know, I remember back then, what was your response when I told you, yes, I was an orphan? You were like, Moses, if anybody's saying an orphan, you are not among them. That was your response, if you remember.
Yeah.
He said, don't count yourself among them. And the reason is because I had a father who died, but was paying my school fees from the grave.
Hey, deep. Yeah,
He was paying my school fees from the grave. He was meeting my needs from the grave because
he
did
invested
something
in property.
In properties.
Wow.
So I'm not going to now sit down and say somebody who did that for me, then I should not fold my hands and not also go into the same line, especially when it had worked for me. So it's just a thing.
Wow, amazing. And I love your sentence about friendship. You know, I mean, you were telling me how you got a better job just by meeting someone.
Ezekiah and another friend.
Yeah, and that tells you how your life, because COVID will have met you your old.
My God, it would have been terrible. It would have been a disaster.
And just meeting somebody, and I think that you can't overemphasize in for those of you who are living outside Africa, we cannot overemphasize, you know, choosing the right people. Right? Choosing the right. If you're not making progress in the US, in the UK, I don't need to be your friend. Friendship is not by force.
It's not by force. Change your friends, change your location if it has to do with that.
Yeah.
Live where you are if they are getting you choked up and all they want you to do is to do parties. They want you to buy clothes every weekend. They want you to go for weddings. They want you to go for vacations and all of that thing. Look, when you have good money, those vacations will come as gifts.
Yes.
Because people would want to host you. People would want to have you around them. And then they were like, oh, please, can you just come for the weekend in my house? It's not because of anything. It's not really because they like you. It's because something, they know there's something that's going to drop. One knowledge, one wisdom, one connection, one network is going to drop from you. And so they want to host you and then they want to be around you. It's simple. But you want to start running after, I want to have the Vogue clothes, I want to have the Vogue phone, the Vogue web technology and all of that. Yo, the next one is going to come the next year. It's just a couple of 12, 10 months. We are so good in branding and marketing that will make you see that you must buy this one right now.
Wow. Please, let me celebrate amazing, you know, man here. I remember when I started coming to, this one, I won't show his face. And I started coming to Manhattan and he started visiting me. He would take me tour and tell me not to show his face. I tell you about witches from his village who must not know it's in America. And I will be telling him, they cannot attack you. There is cold, right? On their way. On their way from Nigeria, right? To come and double into your matter in New York. On my freeze, right? So, but I'm happy today. You know, he has the boldness to look into the camera and do video. I'm happy. And there are many of you like that. You say, hey, nobody must see my face, which is in the village. You see, that's what happened with poverty. When, you know, I tell people that even this nightmare you say you're having, you have not slept in good places. Right? Where me I sleep every night. You can't have nightmare. I swear. I swear. You can't have nightmare. Right? The reason you have the nightmare, because all these nightmare things are also tied to what you've seen. Right? In the day, you've seen so much. Some of you say you are eating in the dream. Actually, did you eat before you went to bed? How hungry are you? When you start eating well, you stop having nightmare of eating the dream. Right? So poverty and all this satanic attack, demonic attack, you know, they are together. And what I notice about some of these things, they hold us back from daring, from taking action, from, you know, taking steps. And, you know, in fact, what shocked me, how I knew you have overcome seeing camera was when you say you are building back at home. You know, at that point I said, no, this man has overcome camera.
No, I never had that fear. I need to understand the difference.
You did.
No.
You even allow me show your picture. I once posted a picture we're having breakfast on my Facebook. This guy literally reached out to me that I should pull it down. Now he wants to deny. Are you kidding me? Because the whole world is watching us.
Oh my
You literally said, pull it down. I don't know. The guy is ashamed now. But there are many of you who do this, right? Demons from the village, witches from somewhere. Come on, guys. Relax. You know, wake up. Hold your life in your hands. Work hard.
You know, the thing again is, especially when you just move here, and people see you here,
God, don't give excuse.
Requests.
Tell them I cannot help you. I cannot help you. Till today, I mean, a lot of time when people, I get more than 100 requests for me to give somebody money every day, right? The ones I can answer, I will answer. The one I can't answer, I'm sorry, I can't help you. It's as simple as that. You ain't gonna force my wallet and bring out money. Because a lot of you say that, and I hear that, I get it, that people say, you know, family members put pressure on them because they live outside Nigeria to send money home. And let me say this, until you have the boldness to look at family members in the face, okay, and say, this is the strategy I use for family members. Every month, I have a quota that I can give to support any family member that need help from me. Every month. I have a quota. And when you then reach out to me and say you need help, I will tell you, this is the quota, this was left. Right? If your turn does not even meet that month, I will tell you that give me another month. Because yes, I'm a business owner. I've built my business to multi-million-dollar corporation. But the discipline to pay myself salary is why I'm here.
Yeah.
So don't think that because I own a multi-million-dollar corporation, it means that I have access to dip my hands into multi-million. I get salary like every of my staff. You know, in my own case, I get it from my coaching program and things like that. So I also live on a budget, right? And that's how I live my life. So you can't come and think because your uncle or your cousin or your brother is Stephen Akintayo, right? In fact, my younger brother was telling me this, and it got so bad. I had to tell him, I said, you know what? Go look for admission anywhere. I'm going to pay for your masters. He said he applied, true story, for a scholarship for masters somewhere. And then they said, Akintayo, it's your brother, not Stephen Akintayo. My friend, you are not the type of people who give scholarship. So he came to me and said, but just because I'm your brother now, I'm not able to get scholarship. You know, so I said, you know what, no problem. Go and look for any university. They give you admission. Your master's is on me. But to wrap up the story, is guys, wake up, face the reality. Because some of you need to start doing business online. Some of you need to, and people need to be sure who you are and where you are. And when you are still held back by this, I don't want my family members, I don't want this, you are hurting yourself. Okay? Build the courage, build the confidence to handle family relations and friends and their demands on you. Okay? And build the courage to look at people in the face and say no. There's nothing wrong saying no. You know, one of the good things God has helped me with, I don't take loan and I don't give loan. So you ain't even going to give me that crap that, but yeah, exactly. But she made me not here. It's a law. You know, I don't give, I don't take. So it helps. During my wedding, I did not do Ashwebi. So when you are doing your wedding, you can't put burden of Ashwebi on me. When my mother died, we didn't ask anybody to buy clothes. You can't put. So I've lived my life in a way that I didn't put burden on anybody. I can only do to the tune of what my power can carry. And you can do the same. And I look forward to seeing you building wealth. Stop wasting money is the reason why we're having this conversation. Right? Stop wasting money. Many of you, the money you use to buy land, you've given it to every family member, showing them that you live in New York, like my friend here. Showing them you live in, you are the Babolo, you own all these buildings in Manhattan. Instead of facing the reality and say, bricklayer work ni mo ṣe. right? I'm a Uber driver. You know, tell them the truth and let them leave you alone and start building your wealth. And I look forward to seeing you at the top in your multiply state. I love you all and God bless you. Good morning.